Welcome back to Stories for Shabbos. I have good news this week because in this week's Parsha we read about laughing. Because Yitzchak is born, and Yitzchak's name is named after his parents, Sarah, his mother's, laughing when they were told they were going to have a baby boy. So I thought maybe this week we could do a story that is funny about our favorite people, the brilliant wise men of the city of Chelm. It's been a few months since we learned a great story about the people of the city of Chelm and an important lesson from their brilliant ways. So here's the story. One day there was a man who showed up in the city of Chelm, and Avikam, and he said, "I have great news for all of you. I know a place far, far away. You have to travel for a little way to get there. But when you get there, there are lots of very valuable treasures. There's gold and silver and diamonds and jewels. And if you send some people there, they'll find fields full of gold that they can collect in bags and bring with them back to Chelm to bring wealth to your whole city." So the wise men of Chelm were very excited. And the wise men of Chelm chose the strongest men of Chelm to come with them on this journey to find the treasures and bring them back to the brilliant city of Chelm. And they traveled for a few days up mountains and down valleys and even across rivers in the heat, in the cold. It took them a while until they finally got to the spot where the man had told them. And guess what they found there? Fields full of gold and treasures and jewels and diamonds. It was true. All the treasures were there waiting for them. And these strong men of Chelm filled up their bags with diamonds and gold and silver and all of the wealth they could find. And the wise men of Chelm were giving them instructions. Take that. Don't take that, because they were the wise men of Chelm, so they always made the important decisions. And finally, all of the sacks were full, and it was time to head back home. But it was very heavy, because stones and gold are very, very heavy. So the strong men of Chelm were schlepping it on their backs, and after the first day, they said to the wise men, "This is too heavy for us. We can't bring this all the way back to Chelm. It was a long trip. It's too hard." So the wise men of Chelm said, "Let's have a meeting with the wise men of Chelm, and we'll decide what to do." So they had a meeting, and they decided that we should spend some of the money, now that we have so much money, we'll spend some of the treasure to buy horses. At the next town that we get to, we'll buy some horses, and the horses can help us carry the treasures. So the next town they got to, they went to someone who sells horses, and they said, "We have lots of gold and silver and diamonds." And they said, "Oh, sure, sure." And they spent a lot of their money, actually, buying horses, but now at least what they had left, they had horses to carry it. So they traveled for one day with the horses, but then the next day the horses started neighing. What does a horse neigh sound like? They're not bad. So the horses start neighing, and they realize the horses are hungry. We didn't buy any food for them. We got to buy them some food. So they get to the next town, but they realize they don't have enough gold and silver left to buy horse food. Horse food could be kind of expensive. So one of the wise men says, "I have a great idea. We'll trade one of the horses to buy the food." And they all have a meeting together, and they agree, "That makes sense. The horse is expensive. We can get lots of horse food if we trade the horse." So they trade their horses, and they get big bags of oats. And now they're left with big bags of oats. No horses, but at least they have big bags of oats. So they start carrying the oats back to Chelm, and then they say, "You know what? The oats are too heavy. We can't carry all these oats all the way back to Chelm, and we don't have horses to take them anymore." So the wise men get together and they say, "What can we do? Oats are too heavy," and they come up with a brilliant idea. They decided oats might be heavy, but feathers are light. When we get to the next town, why don't we see if there's somebody who sells feathers? We can trade all of these heavy oats, and then we'll have very light feathers to carry back. And all the wise men agree, "That's a brilliant idea. Feathers are so light. Why didn't we think of this in the first place?" So when they get to the next town, they find a feather salesman. There's always a good feather salesman in every town. And they say, "We have lots of oats. Do you need oats?" And he says, "Yeah, actually, I would love some oats. We have lots of bags of oats. How many feathers will you give us?" "We'll give you lots of feathers." "Great!" So now they have big bags of feathers, and feathers are so light. They're so excited. Everything worked out. And the big, strong men of Chelm carry the big bags of feathers, not actually so heavy, and they bring them all the way back to Chelm. And when the wise men and the strong men of Chelm came back to Chelm, all of the people of the town were waiting to greet them. And they said, "What's in your bags? Show us the treasure. We're so excited." And they opened up their bags, and they were full of all different colored feathers. And the people of Chelm were so excited. "Yes, you brought back feathers. Now we can all have beautiful feathers in our house." The journey was a success. What is the lesson that we learned from this funny and silly story? Sometimes, When you're so focused on just getting more money and finding the treasures that you spend days and weeks trying to get as much as you can, doesn't always work out so great in the end. You need a little bit of money to buy what you need, but there are more important things in life than finding a silly treasure from far away. If you spend too much time and too much effort just trying to get money and treasure, sometimes you end up with a bag of feathers. Good Shabbos, everyone.
Good Shabbos.